Are you blown out of every available orifice in your body every time you climb a flight of stairs? Are you almost having an asthma attack every time you change a TV show over on Netflix? Maybe it's time to make a change. Maybe it's time to actually embark on that fitness journey you've been promising to since God knows when. And I've got the very thing for you. A basic bodyweight beginners program that is going to take you from there to God knows where. Let's do it, guys. Let's get fit for 2024. Alright troops, strong and conditioned, live and direct. So, the new year is upon us. We have listened to the voices in our head and we have decided that we are going to embark on our fitness journey. How do we start? How do we traverse the darkness? And how do we arrive at our destination, which is elite fitness?
Elite.
Well, the purpose of this video is to give you guys 2 beginner workouts which you can perform on a weekly basis, which in turn is going to build that base of fitness, which will give us the platform to launch ourselves on towards better things. Yes guys, it's 2 beginner bodyweight style workouts with a degree of progression to ensure that you are constantly challenging yourselves, you are constantly stimulating the body, and you are constantly forcing that adaptation, which means that you are creating harder workouts as time goes on. Now think of it as an RPG. In an RPG, you come across that first enemy that's quite powerful and it kicks absolute shit out of you. However, once you level up over time, that enemy becomes easy to annihilate, and that is the purpose of these workouts. Over time, you will become stronger and you will become more fit in order to defeat those workouts which you started with initially. That's how we measure progress. So guys, without much further ado, let's get into the meat and bones of the program. Now guys, the first thing we need to break down is the exercises that we are going to use in these workouts. Now, it's not strictly burpee based, it's a body weight workout, so it's a variety of exercises which we need because we always want to be creating the environment for adaptation. And we are not going to do that if we focus on one exercise alone. We need to create a well-rounded machine. So, what are the exercises? Both workouts will consist of 4 exercises completed in a circuit fashion. Workout A will consist of the following exercises: 4/6 count burpees, jumping jacks, squats, and mountain climbers. Workout B will consist of push-ups, leg raises, lunges, and jumping jacks. So as you can see, both exercises are slightly different, however the movement patterns are quite similar. But as explained, we want to create the environment for adaptation. And we want to keep the body surprised, we want to keep putting it through the grinder, making sure the heart rate is elevated, which in turn will build that base of fitness which we are looking for, so we can crush our fitness goals in the following year. So guys, as with all good solid programs, they need a structure to be built around, and the structure needs to ensure a degree of progressive overload. And the structure or format that we shall be using during this program is a step loading protocol. And step loading is basically a protocol that allows volume to accumulate over the weeks once you have hit both your rep and set targets. And that's something we will go into in the next slide. Now, the first step we will look at is the rep target. Basically, the rep target is an amount of reps that we are setting at the beginning of the workout. And this can be any number. This is down to you. You can pick 3 reps, you can pick 5 reps, you can pick 8 reps. However, if I was a total beginner, I would definitely be conservative with the amount of reps I can perform in the workout, because these workouts will take the wind out of your sails to a certain degree, and you will be relatively gassed if you are coming from an untrained state. Now, the rep target is the reps that we wish to hit in every single round. So, for example, we may hit 3 sets of 8 reps, and that is the target we are looking to hit on any given round. Now, do not overthink this. This is only the reference point that we are using at this point to ensure that we can gauge progress. Now, the second step is establishing a set target. A set target is basically the amount of rounds we aim to complete when doing workout A or B. Now, once again, this can be any number of your choosing. If you wish to begin off with 1 round, that's fine. 2 rounds, that's okay. 3 rounds. But once again, err on the side of caution, because at this point, you want to ensure slow and steady progress. You don't want to knock the wind out of your sails right at the beginning, because it can be rather demotivating. There's nothing worse than someone starting a keep fit regime and being crushed in the first workout, and in turn lacking the motivation to continue. Now, the example I'm using here is that the set target we wish to achieve in every workout will be 3 sets. 3 sets is probably a good number to start off your workout progress with. And once again, do not worry if you cannot complete your set target initially, because this is something that you will strive to work against. As long as we have those targets established, we have a goal in mind that we need to work up to. And on the flip side, you may actually smash those goals within your first workout. The only way you're going to find out is if you give it a bash. Okay guys, the third step is the set and rep target. This is basically when we combine both targets to create a structure that we are going to work towards. And ultimately, it forms the foundation of our workout program and gives us a reference point to build on with, so that we always have that number to look back to, and we also have those targets that we are using in order to ensure that we can start adding volume over time. Now, the goal is to be able to hit both the set and rep target in one workout. That will be our cue for progression. However, do not be dissuaded by the fact that you might not be able to hit those numbers. And if you cannot, you maintain the same workout you did previously until you hit said numbers, guys. Okay, so this is where the step loading kicks in. This is the 4th step. Step loading is basically a progression model which will allow us to slowly add volume over time and basically allow our bodies to cope with the rigours of this highly intense physical training style. Now, once we have hit both our rep and set target, that is our cue to add an extra set in the next workout. So, for example, say we are hitting 3 sets of 8, and within 2 workouts we hit those targets. That means the next workout will be 4 sets of 8, and you will continue this until you then hit 5 sets of 8 and onwards. Now, this extra set will always use the same rep target we have set out at the beginning of the workout program. And once again, if we cannot hit these targets, that's fine. We just maintain the same level of intensity. We still maintain the same rep target and set target. And until we hit that, we are always continuing or repeating the same workout. Now, at some point, we are going to have to work the fifth step, which is establishing a set and rep goal. So this is kind of different from a target. This is an end point because we need that final destination. If we do not have that goal, then we're just going to be continuously adding on sets. And where does it end at that point? Do you just keep going and going and going? At that point, it becomes a law of diminishing returns. So it's probably best interests that you set yourself a goal. Now, for example, we could set a rep goal of 8 reps and we could have a set goal of 10 sets. Once we hit the 10 set point, then we have to reevaluate the approach that we plan to take. Now, as already discussed, we could initially set a rep and a set goal of 8 reps for 10 sets. But once we've achieved that, then where do we take it from there? Well, some strategies that you could consider are that you could reduce the sets, but increase the rep target and build up the volume once more. So, for example, you could then establish a rep target of 10 reps and keep the set goal at 10 sets. However, you do not have to go back to 3 sets. You could be a bit more audacious and you could be a bit more bold and you could start at 5 sets because at that point you will have built up a good base of fitness, which means you can be a bit more risky with your approach and you can be less conservative. So, for example, say you have completed your 10 rounds of 8 reps. The next time you go into a workout, you're going to establish a new rep target, a rep target of say 10 to 12 reps, and you're going to keep the sets at 10. That's the set goal. Once you start working out, it's another case of just making sure that you hit those numbers regularly so that you can then act upon the cue to progress to the next workout by adding sets on and increasing volume over time. Now, once again, once we have achieved our goals, it's just a case of rinsing and repeating. However, your focus should always be on rep goals because that way it's going to allow you to increase the intensity within a short space of rounds. So, for example, if you adjust the rep target and move up to 15 reps, then you will be performing 10 rounds of 15 reps per exercise, which works out to 600 reps per workout. And when you compare it to the first workouts, that's quite a considerable increase in volume. So I would suggest that you always keep the onus on the rep target. You can be a bit more audacious with the set target, but I think ultimately the intensity is in the amount of reps performed within a round as opposed to churning out set after set after set. I think this ventures into territory of the law of diminishing returns. So it's a case of just trying to keep the workouts short, sharp and focused, always ensuring that you're hitting your targets and the progress is being established. Alright guys, so just a brief recap to drill the principles home that will ensure progress in this bodyweight training game and make sure that you guys build up an excellent base of fitness so that you can start tackling those more meaty numbers in the high rep bodyweight sphere. Number 1, create a rep target and a goal. Then create a set target and a goal. Do these before you start to even begin any of the workouts. Just get them on paper, get them written down somewhere, get them established so you've got those goals to work towards. And once you have achieved both the set and rep target in one workout, that is when you add a set onto the next workout. You don't add 2 sets, you don't add 3 sets, you just stick to 1 set, adding it on, so that you can slowly become used to the volume hitting the body. And you will continue to add sets in that fashion until you have reached your goal. And once you have finally reached those goals, it's back to the drawing board to create both a new rep and set target and goal. Now, it's preferred, in my opinion, to stick to a limit of 10 sets maximum with regards to the set goal. But this is up to you. Always remember that it's your workout, it's your journey. You call the shots. Guys like me are just here to establish a framework for you to work within. But it's down to you. You're big boys. You know what to do. You know how your body works. It's just a case of finding out what works for you. You'll start to establish things. You'll start to realise what's working and what's not working. And then you just take it from there. Alright troops, so you've did the workout and you've woke up the next day in absolute agony. You can hardly walk. Your chest muscles feel like they're trying to divorce themselves from your body. Your legs are like absolute lead. You're walking out of bed like you're John Wayne, striding off into the sunset. Which asks the question, how do we recover from these workouts? Well, I am not going to be pretentious and spin off a big long scroll full of recovery methods. For me, recovery should be kept basic. The approach that I tend to take is sleep. If I'm getting a good sleep at night, then I will probably be recovering. But the most important thing in this aspect is to listen to your body. Now, I would do these workouts as many times as I can during the week. However, listen to your body. If you have pain, if you have DOMs, then maybe back off for a day and let your body recover. That means guys who are in the untrained state may find that they can only perform 1 or 2 workouts in the first week or 2, because ultimately it's a long game. This isn't a quick fix. This is something that you partake in for several years, and you need to keep that in mind. So don't be dissuaded at the beginning of the process if your workouts are infrequent due to the DOMs you are experiencing. That's normal, but you need to be mindful of the signals that your body is sending you. At the same time, use your intelligence when it comes to things like this. For example, if the push-up is causing issues and your triceps are causing pain the next day, well, you can still take part in the bodyweight circuit, but just omit the exercise which uses those body parts. That's an approach that I would take personally, but I like to train every day. However, if you like to keep the workout as one, just take days off until you feel fully recovered before you go again. Other strategies that I would employ, which I feel are beneficial, are the ones which are pretty much common knowledge, such as hot baths, particularly baths with Epsom bath salts. I tend to find that they hit the spot, a good sleep. And one of the things that is very powerful, in my opinion, is going for a walk. We want to get blood to the muscles which are feeling pain, and walking just hits the full body in that respect. Therefore, if you wake up the next day and your legs feel like they are absolutely shot to bits, then go for a walk. The worst thing you can do is sit on your ass all day doing nothing, thinking that is going to accelerate the recovery process. It won't. If anything, it's going to inhibit it and drag it out. So get walking, guys. But these are just recovery tools that I would use. There are millions of options on YouTube and Google. Feel free to search them. Now guys, final thoughts on the overall programme. I know some of you guys' heads will be spinning at the information that you have been bombarded with throughout this video, particularly the step loading phase. That's quite a lot to take in, and I get it. However, remember this: workouts will always be chaotic at the initial process. No one is doing a workout perfectly at the start. They are feeling their way about the workout, and that is something that you need to keep in mind and also embrace. You will feel your way about the first couple of weeks. You will realise that some things don't possibly work for you, some things do, but ultimately you need to become familiar with the actual structure and concept, because familiarity will breed confidence over time. And once you become fully confident with the structure of the workout and how it's performed, you will then come back to the video, reread or rewatch the step loading process, and it will start to make even more sense. Look at it like this. Like when you buy a book on something, on a subject, you kind of get some scant knowledge on the subject. However, then you buy another book, which is another opinion, or it's another viewpoint on the book, and then your knowledge base broadens because you're seeing things from a different light. And you usually take 5 or 6 books on the one subject before you can start to gain a full understanding of the information that's being presented to you. And it's the same with working out in this respect. Once you begin these workouts, you're going to become enamoured by the process, which is going to lead you down rabbit holes. You're going to become more familiar with the workout, so you're going to go onto YouTube and you're going to type in bodyweight exercise, and you're going to have some understanding of the information that you're absorbing at that point, which is going to make the whole process easier to follow. So my initial idea of so one of the first things I would advise to you guys is just throw yourself into it. You're not going to get it right at the beginning. You're going to fuck it up. But embrace that, because the only way you will learn is by making those fuck ups. Now, the second part is the step loading. The step loading is probably quite difficult to understand in the way I presented it through slides. However, it's a very easy concept. It's basically having a target of reps and sets, and once you hit the targets, you add a set in until you reach a certain amount of sets over time. And once you've reached that certain amount of sets, you're in a good place, man. You are going to be fucking rocking it, in my opinion. And that's the beauty of this game. That's the beauty. Once you get started, momentum starts to gather. Then things start to happen. Magic starts to take place. Ideas start to form in your head. You start to become more confident. You start to think, right, I'm going to try this, I'm going to try that. Curiosity starts to get the better of you, because ultimately what I've done here is presented you with a structure, a framework, and frameworks are something that you work within. So it's up to you if you want to add new exercises in. So for example, if you become more adept at the 4 count burpee, then it's time to move on to the 6 count burpee. If the push-ups are too difficult, then regress the push-up and do them on your knees. You will slowly make alterations to the program as time goes on, because it will become your program. However, what's going to happen is this. You're going to perform the workout, and the frequency of workouts that you can perform throughout the week is going to improve, it's going to expand. Therefore, your base of fitness is going to increase over time. It's a no-fail concept here. If you do what I've set out, you are going to be in a good place come 3, 6 weeks, a month, 2 months, who knows, but it's going to happen over time. Now, you're not going to end up with a physique like Ronnie Coleman at the end of this workout. This workout is just designed to allow you to cope with the demands and rigours of high rep bodyweight calisthenics style training over time. It's going to give you the confidence to get there. You're not going to become some buff bodybuilder who can hardly walk through a door due to a massive back. That's just not the case. But you are going to lean out if you use it in conjunction with sensible eating practices. You're going to feel a bit more energy. You're just going to feel better all round, guys. And you know what? This is just what happens. You need to take that first step, man. You need to just fucking get moving. Because no one is going to do this shit for you. No one cares about you. No one cares about you working out. The only person who's going to feel the impact of this fucking training style is you guys. Just get on it. Just fucking do it. Just get started. Take that first step, guys. Hopefully this program works out for you. Let me know how it goes for you. Drop a comment. Let me know your progress on this program. It would be very, very, very helpful for me, so that I can use the feedback to create alterations or tweaks. But it's just good to know that some people are getting torn about it, as we say in Scotland, and feeling the effects. So anyway, guys, thank you for subscribing, thank you for watching the videos, and thank you for just being part of my life, because ultimately I do this for you guys. I do this for you. Anyway, thanks for staying strong and thanks for staying conditioned.